Hello, hi, it's me, Jennifer Smith, True Love Scam Recovery, Narcissistic Abuse Unwound. Today, I first of all want to apologize to so many people, as it turns out, who subscribed to my newsletter, my email list in 2014. In 2015, I'm finding people from 2016. Haven't gotten into 2017 so far, but somehow I left people off my main subscribers list. That means that none of those people ever received my True Love Scam Recovery newsletters all this time. Maybe they wouldn't have needed it all this time, but in the beginning years, weeks, months, they surely did, and yet they were left out. I'm really sorry for it. And in going through these old emails in my system that are from when I started my website in November 2014, I'm also finding emails where people wrote to me telling me their story, asking for help. And some of them, of course, I ended up doing sessions with. That's how it started. People asking if I would talk to them. And with many of them, there are several email exchanges where I'm answering their questions. And one of the questions, one of the concerns from one of these people that I missed adding to my newsletter subscriber list asked me something that really popped out at me. She went on at length, feeling very, very bad about herself because, as it turned out, she happened to be the prey, the supposed girlfriend or fiance that was kept secret, a secret in the life of the sociopath, or if you're calling them a narcissist. She was the person who was hidden away from that person's real life, so to speak, but she never knew that until a certain point along in the time that they were together, so to speak. We're not really together. These are not relationships. They are crimes, which is why I say, so to speak, after saying they were together. So she discovered he had a wife, someone he married that knew his family, his parents, whatever that was. The main content of the email I received from her was about why wasn't I good enough? Can't stop comparing myself to his previous wife and the wife I discovered that he has now after she and he, broke up. And she's just beating herself up about why wasn't I good enough? Why wasn't I chosen? Why was I hidden? She's just so torn up. How human is this, right? And one of the things that popped in my head as I was reading this is, it's so amazing how we want to be, quote, good enough for this freak, this monster. And while we're considering why wasn't I good enough, it takes so much to be able to see that we're talking about trying to be good enough for a criminal, for a monster, for a psychopath, a sociopath. Maybe you're calling them a narcissist, a scammer, a con artist. We're so beyond good enough. And then on the other side of that, good enough doesn't even come in because it's not a relationship. It's a crime. So, her question. Apparently, I answered her because I also came across an email from her that said, "Thank you so much. What you said helped me so much." I didn't find the email I sent to her giving her an answer. But what I would say to that now, why aren't I good enough? Why was I hidden? Why wasn't I the public wife or fiance or girlfriend? Why was I hidden away? Because they're idiots. Because we're not in a relationship. We are a pawn or a piece of the pillars of support for the survival of the sociopath. They aren't in a relationship. Everything they choose has nothing to do with us personally. She kept mentioning, I want to know why so that I don't take it personally. Why was I not chosen? Well, none of it's personal. None of it is ever about us. Everything they do is about what they feel that they need. So when they have their 8 or 10 or 12 or 20 prey supply, maybe you use that word if you're calling them a narcissist. They're predators. We are their prey, Prey. When they have their harem, their bag and box and bundle of prey, we do each fit into a certain slot or play a certain role in that sociopath's needs. And we do each fit a slot, a space in their needs. So you could imagine a vending machine, and there's a row across, left to right. Hershey bars, potato chips, Snicker bar, jelly beans. But behind each of those Hershey bar, potato chips, Snicker bar, jelly beans, I think I said, there is a backup Snickers, jelly beans, Hershey bar, potato chips. So maybe they have 8 of those across, not just 4. Maybe they have 12 across. Each has kind of a backup. Maybe they only have 3 across and each has a backup. So that front row, those are different roles that might fit the sociopath's needs in their minds, what they need. One of them is quite likely to be the public person, the prey who might know their parents or some of their siblings or their children and might be more public. This is the one that's taken to the work events, maybe, if they're employed. And there's a backup one of those, believe it or not, always. So why is one of them public and then why not the other? The public one has to fit what they need at that time. If we're talking about a 25-year-old, their public person that they introduce to their mom and dad as their fiance is probably not going to be the 50-year-old that they're scamming, right? They're going to pick something that seems socially appropriate as well as they can discern that. They're not super great at knowing what is really appropriate, what our social conventions are, what our real cultural social expectations really are, because they have nothing to gauge that with. They don't have that kind of intelligence or awareness. But they're doing their best to have a public person that is their respectability facade. The person they need that will assure the fact that, they're going to be on their parents' will, or the parents are going to buy them a new car or give them some more money, or maybe it's grandparents. So the public person fills the respectability facade that sociopath perceives as best they can, that will make them look as great as possible based on what they view as their persona, their character. They build a persona for themselves. I'm the cool guy. I'm the guy who has beautiful chicks with fake boobs and foreign accents, arm candy. I'm the guy or woman, men and women, any gender, any sexuality, a sociopath shows up in any form. So, okay, they choose what they need. They choose what they perceive that they need. The public one, respectability facade. Another one is just there for money, for a backup place to go spend the night when they're in trouble with the respectability facade prey. Then, of course, they have a backup for each of those. So they're busy with 4 people, or maybe 6. Maybe there's 2 backups for each of those. Respectability facade, and number 2, where I don't show this person to the public, but I use them, I get money from them, I borrow their car. This is the one who pays for my cell phone because that one thinks that I don't have a job, even though actually I work in an office, which is what my wife, who's my public person, knows that I do. Do you get what I mean? Like, these aren't real people. They're making everything up, and they're trying to make themselves look as good as possible to each one of us along that row in the vending machine, including the one that fills the slot that I just call ranch. They all have somebody to hang out with, or a couple someones, where they can completely let their hair down. They hang out with someone who may or may not be a sociopath, but has fallen into a life that is, um, well, not so pretty. Maybe full of alcoholism, lots of drug use, maybe some prostitution, or heavy trouble, pain, suffering, a partier, a place where they can be as nasty as they want to be, and it's okay. But even within that, they make themselves seem like the best one there, the coolest or the raunchiest or the most dangerous or whatever is considered the best in that raunch realm. I hope this makes sense. They do what they do based on what they need. They need a respectability facade, and then the other cornerstone is they need a place where they can let their hair down and be exactly what they are. And then they've got things in between. They are not there to be a friend. They're not there to be in a relationship. They're using us. This is all they can do. This is how they're wired. This is the sociopathic brain. This is the antisocial psychopath. Antisocial meaning anti, against, outside of, social meaning society. So when we don't like to go out or go to parties much, we're not actually antisocial. That word would actually be asocial, but we've kind of, as a population, taking on calling that antisocial. The meaning of antisocial in terms of in relation to antisocial psychopath means a person whose behavior goes against or is outside of the accepted and expected norms of behavior in a society, polite behavior, humanistic behavior, that kind of behavior where you can get along in a group, you can be okay at work, politeness, civility, being able to have conversations, dialogues, not attack people, not scam people, not rape people, for example. Not make up who you are, not deceive people on every front about every aspect of your life. Not hide a spouse or a fiancé from the public or from another huge group of people in your life, for example. That is antisocial behavior. I was a secret, very, very much a secret, because I had one sole purpose in this maniac's life, one main purpose, along with taking as much money as he possibly could, running up my credit. But the main purpose was that I was a quick green card to the United States. That's a really clear example of why I wasn't public. I was secret. So if you're the secret one, that's why. It has nothing to do with us, why we are public and why we're not, as far as being something wrong with us. There is nothing wrong with us. There's absolutely everything wrong with them. If you've been missing out on my newsletters and you remember vaguely or even quite clearly that at some point in time you signed up for my email list, apologies. You can subscribe, Jennifer@truelovescam.com. If you'd like to do sessions with me also, you can use that email or go to the website, truelovescam.com, Jennifer@truelovescam.com. The upcoming holiday season, remember that this is a time they swoop back around, they tap on our sentimentality and emotionalism, and if there's kids involved, it's worse. Please, please, please take care, stay away from them, do your best to be no contact. And you can be in contact with me anytime you like. This is Jennifer Smith, True Love Scam Recovery, Narcissistic Abuse Unwound, sending you all good things.